Right, folks, this is me. I'm just going to show a picture of here. I went down to the Antarctic for it was a 6-month voyage altogether, and I went down there in 1985, and it was absolutely incredible place. I know some people call what conventionally is called the Antarctic continent the ice wall, and basically what I did was for the entire Antarctic summer cruise up and down that ice wall and went ashore in some of the islands around here. I didn't bring a camera with me like an idiot. I was kind of like in about 20 at the time and didn't really consider that it would be a good idea taking photos of all the places I went to. But one of the places we called in at was a deserted whaling town called Grytviken in South Georgia, and I've spoken before in comments that I'd been down to Antarctica and did not see any 24-hour daylight there in the summer. And this is a picture of the ship's crew we had taken, and I'll try and see if this camera will zoom in on me. But the chap there holding the staff is myself. Yeah, the ugly one there. Holding the staff, that's me. Yeah, sort of dig this picture out. Yeah, back in the good old days. I just wish that when I went there I had the knowledge that I have now. It would have been incredible. In fact, with all this knowledge out now, I don't think that they would take crews down there so much like us. You'd have to be specially selected now to go down there, I would say. This is the old post office in South Georgia that was used by the British Army during the Falklands War. And as you can see, the windows have this tape over it, which was apparently to stop them shattering if the Argentinians dropped a bomb on it. And these sheds here are basically old whaling sheds. You can't see much around there, but just at the back of all that is the big whale blubber processing plant for the oil. And they got, if I remember rightly, there were 3 derelict old whaling ships there, and myself and 1 or 2 others, via the help of a wire that was going across to a mast, managed to go on board one of them, and we had a look around, and there were whaling harpoons everywhere. And I remember some of the ship's crew took some home with them, but I didn't, and kind of in a way I wish I had. And polished it up, it would have been a lovely sort of mantelpiece ornament. But yeah, I was actually within sort of almost touching distance of the ice wall, and that was my home for the whole of the Antarctic summer. I remember it was never overly cold while we were there. As you can see, I'm wearing a pretty thin coat there, and I remember on that day after this photograph was taken, the mountains in the background, myself and the chap standing behind me decided like absolute idiots to go adventuring and exploring up there. And the rest of the ship's crew were pretty sane, decided to stay on board and have a few beers. And we were there for a few days, so myself and this gentleman decided to do a bit of mountaineering and rock climbing without any equipment. And we ended up going miles away because we thought, okay, we'll keep the ship in sight in the abandoned harbour down there. And he didn't want to go any further, but I was a bit of a nut job in those days and said, no, we'll keep going. So we ended up absolutely lost at one point, right up in the mountains. And I thought we were absolutely going to be finished, or they'd have to send the army out to look for us or something. But I found a stream in the end. I left him. We tried to get down a really sheer cliff, and it was just too far to drop, so we couldn't do it. And he panicked and didn't want to go any further, so I left him in the crag and decided to make a 5 or 6 mile trek back up through the mountain and try and find a way down. And then I was going to come up the shale, about 400 or 500 feet of shale in the rock crag, and try and get his feet and get him to come down that way, because he was just petrified, he wouldn't even move. So in the end I found, in desperation, bear in mind we took no food with us, just thought we were having an hour or two's trek, and it must have been about 7 or 8 hours later I found my way down to a stream, which I knew the stream would lead to the water below in Antarctica, the water along the harbour of Gripvik, and eventually, so I basically followed the stream all the way down, and even had to go in the stream at times to get down there, absolutely starving. And eventually 10 hours later I found him, and I had to get him. It took me, once I got down to the shale, about 2 hours to find him. I kept saying shout, and he was too weak, too scared to shout. So in the end I heard a faint like that, so I was going nuts by that time. I was fucking angry because he wasn't doing as I asked and shouting so I could find him. And in the end I found him, and he managed to stand on, I put my hands up and he managed to get down with his feet, and we both fell and rolled down the shingle, 400 feet of shingle. And by the time we got back to the ship, it must have been about 10 to 12 hours after we left, and I remember never being so hungry in all my life. I just devoured whatever I could find in the galley. But yeah, no, I was a young nut job in those days, and we weren't the staff I'd made there was some sort of magical staff that I'd whittled away from the ship. It was a kind of like wizard staff or something. In those days I was heavily into sort of like mysticism and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was me down in Gripvik and cruising up and down the ice wall for a long time. Well, anyway, I just thought that would be an interesting video, because a lot of commenters have said, no, you didn't go down to Antarctica, when I said I had, talking about the 24-hour daylight that I wasn't there. Anyway, thanks for watching.